Hi guys, welcome to Expertiser Academy. It's been a while since we have done a video, and in this one we're gonna see how to make an application like AutoCAD. So if you guys haven't heard of AutoCAD, you should actually check some of my previous videos where I have explained how to do basic drafting using AutoCAD, and also some Civil 3D videos that you can check it out, and also some of the videos which I also explained how to create plugins for AutoCAD. So those information is all going to be useful when you're going to come to this video. Okay, this video is we're going to focus on building an application just like that. And these applications are way too complex. It's not like a regular desktop applications or a mobile app, and this is a way too complex, and we need to consider a lot of things in here. And we're gonna break this down, and then we're gonna see like what are the different components that it has to go in there, and when we're building this application, and what sort of technologies that we're gonna use, and what sort of programming language that we can choose, and a whole lot of things that we're gonna look into it. All right, let's get into it. This is going to be a part-by-part series, so you may actually maybe getting like around 4 or 5 videos on this one, and if people like it, then we will add more videos onto this section. So first let's get started. So for introduction, we're looking at Civil 3D at this point, but this is a vertical product. But in this exercise, we're gonna choose AutoCAD as such. So we're not gonna get into Civil 3D, how to build Civil 3D, which is much bigger chapter. So we're just gonna take it AutoCAD. So now first, to understand some basics, what is AutoCAD and what is Civil 3D? AutoCAD is a sort of is a separate silo on its own, because Autodesk has got several products in their sleeves. One is AutoCAD based products, and then we have Revit, and we have Inventor, we have Vault, we have BIM 360, and we have a whole bunch of softwares that we have in there. But AutoCAD, what they have done is they built the base version of AutoCAD, which has got the AutoCAD 2D and 3D, and then on top of it we have the vertical products, which is built on top of AutoCAD. Maybe you can consider as sort of like plugins. So we have Map 3D, and we have Civil 3D, and then AutoCAD Mechanical, and then there is AutoCAD Architectural, which was used to be there. I don't know if it's still out there. So there are other vertical products that we have in there. So out of all of these ones, compared to AutoCAD, the products which are having a bit more complexity in terms of tools and the way they work are Civil 3D and Map 3D, I would say, because some of the functions that you see are entirely different. That means you will not be able to correlate the knowledge that you have gained in basic AutoCAD, and you can use it on Map 3D or Civil 3D, which is not going to be that easy. All right, so the basic difference between AutoCAD and the vertical products such as Map 3D and Civil 3D is like AutoCAD, you can draw some primitive objects such as drawing lines or circles, or 3D objects such as pipes or anything like that. But those objects are primitive, and they don't really talk to each other. They don't have any intelligence, no attribute information attached automatically. So it's basically dumb objects. Whereas when you go into any of those higher products such as Map 3D or Civil 3D, the objects talk to each other. So the objects connect to each other. So objects knows like what a object may also have some additional attribute information. So that sort of stuff is what actually makes Civil 3D and Map 3D as a next level of CAD based softwares, we would say. So just to give you an idea, so this is basically a drawing that we have done in AutoCAD, just a bunch of lines, polylines. Whereas if you go to Civil 3D, as you can see, like it's way more complex. And as you can see, that's a super elevation profile, and then we have a horizontal profile, which is an alignment, and then a vertical profile, which is a profile. Now if you see, like all of these objects are pretty much connected. If you move your horizontal profile, it actually moves your vertical profile, and so is your corridor. Your corridor is going to adjust it by itself, and so it does a lot of these things automatically. So that's the intelligence that we have with this product. Now going back to AutoCAD, that's what we're going to focus on. So now AutoCAD has evolved for the last 25 years, 30 years or something like that. So they have come from a very primitive, the first version I worked is release 14 or 12 or something like that when it was in school days, and now it's quite complex. So now let's break it down. What are the different components that we have here? I'm not going to cover every component, but just to give you an idea, just to look at it in bit more detail. So first thing is the user interface of the product. So the user interface of the product, we call this one as a sort of like a docking panel based controls. That means all of these toolbars, the tab controls, most of these things you can drag and drop and you can move things around. So this is more like a dock panel based user interface. And so the user interface consists of an application menu. You can see the similar structure of this interface in Outlook or Word or Excel. Most of these Microsoft products have the similar interface. So we got an application menu where you can do some of the basic stuff such as opening a file and closing a file, saving a file, and all that kind of other basic functions. And then we have the quick access toolbar. Some of the tools that you want to access it quickly, you can do that from here. And then underneath we have the ribbon. The ribbon has got the tabs, and then the tabs has got panels, and then the panels has got buttons. So this is a basic place where you actually access your tools. And I have talked briefly about how ribbons work in one of my previous videos. You can check it out there. And then on the other side we have the info bar, and then underneath we have the tabs where we open the drawings as tabs. And each of those drawings, let's go into AutoCAD. We can close this tool space, and let's change this to 3D modeling. So we are in a completely AutoCAD interface. All right. So now if you see, like, most of these drawings will look like that. So now this is your model space, and you can switch it to your paper space. This is for printing. And then we have your view cube, and then navigation bar. This is on the right side, and we can close this panel up here. And then we have the status bar on the bottom, and then we have some of the tools that goes into the status bar where you can turn things on, such as polar, ortho. Some of these things you can turn it on and off. So this is the basic user interface where the user controls it to their comfort, to make their drawings, doing the drawings much more efficient. The drafting process makes it easier for the drafter by adjusting these tools up on the screen. So now if you're building an application like AutoCAD, this is some of the things that you need to think about, because if you compare AutoCAD with some of the other products in the pipeline, you can see, like, the very first thing that your user compliance is about the user interface and the user experience, which is UI UX. I would say, like, most of the Autodesk products, they have given a lot of time spent on improving the user experience as such. So I would say, like, take this as an example, as your benchmark when you're designing an application like AutoCAD, and then have a decent user experience for the users. And so that is basically the user interface of it, where the user interacts with that stuff. Now let's get into some of the backend stuff that we can look into this. So the first thing is we're going to see the customization of the user interface. So AutoCAD has got something called CUI. You can type in CUI to get to CUI command. So this interface lets you customize everything that you see in here. So you can add a new tab control, you can add tools in there, you can add your own commands, you can do a lot of other things in here. So this interface, it lets a user to customize however he wants it. So it doesn't way that if it's a big company, they don't have to come back to you to get the application redesigned or anything like that. And the next one is a core engine. So the core engine is basically what you're looking at as a product. So when you buy this product, this is basically we call it as an engine for the entire software. So this is like the kernel, we can say it. This is where it actually loads the CAD data. This is the interface that you're looking at, model space. This is where you load the CAD data, and you interact with the CAD data, you edit the CAD data, and you basically output it in a sort of like a paper in the printing module, or save it as a PDF, or send it to someone as a DWG file or DXF file, or some of these things. It's all done basically in the main portion of the product, which is the model space. So the model space is a sort of like a special place where you can do a whole lot of other things in here. So the first thing is not just drawing objects. You can import objects into it. You can open another drawing which can read from the DWG file and load the objects into the screen, and you can rotate the object as well. Using the view cube, you can rotate the object, and you can see the UCS here. That's a user coordinate system where you can adjust it to a particular way that you want to look at it, and you can also adjust the visual display of it. And let's say we can put it back to the original mode, and then we can change this to, let's say we go in here, so we can look something in 3D, and you can change this from 2D wireframe to conceptual design, or we can change to 3D rendering, realistic. So most of these things you can do it in AutoCAD within the drawing space itself. And the other thing that you can look into when you're looking at this space is this is a complete 3D space. That means it has got X, Y, and Z. It's not just positive X and Y, because it's like an axis. So we have the X and then minus X, and then Y and minus Y, and then Z and minus Z. So it's a complete 3D space that you're looking at it. And there is something else that we need to consider when we're building an interface like this is AutoCAD have done this pretty smartly. They call it as limits. So in order to keep the drawing footprint pretty shorter, depending on the people who work on these AutoCAD drawings, you can actually limit them to work on a particular frame, so that way the drawings footprints can be smaller and user can be having a very tidy drawing atmosphere. So that's the next thing that you need to look into it when you're building an application like AutoCAD. Okay, so what are the things that has to go into building my model space, or the space where actually do the rendering and doing the drawings and stuff. And the next thing is, do you want to consider using giving the user both the 2D experience as well as 3D experience, or just 2D? So this is a very important factor because it adds a whole bunch of complexity. So now the level of complexity, I would say, like the 2D is a basic thing, because without that it's not even considered as a CAD program. So 2D, and then the 3D is a bit more complex, and then we have the let's say object data or attribute information, or anything which adds sort of like intelligence to the objects. That's a sort of hierarchy that we can look at it. So the first thing, which is much easier to do, is a 2D or a CAD version without any 3D fun stuff, and then the next one is the 3D. So how are you going to offer the product? Is it going to be just 2D or 2D and 3D? And next thing is, so what sort of print support you're going to give? So most of these AutoCAD products, they support A4 sheets, A3 sheets, A1 sheets, and a whole lot of wide variety of sheets, and printer supports and plotter supports and stuff like that. And they also come with their own set of pen styles where you can customize how your objects that you draw on the drawing have to go onto the paper. So that means you can have separate display that you can view the drawing in your computer, and then the different way that you want to view it on a paper. So that's pen styles. So do you want to give a pen styles for the user to control these kind of features, and what sort of other functions that you're going to give for make the people make it efficient for printing on a paper and making as a PDFs and stuff like that. AutoCAD comes with a free PDF printer, and which does a decent job. Yeah, so that's basically gives you all the PDF output of your drawings and stuff. And the next thing is your file read write. This plays a major role, guys. This is one of the reasons most of the companies decide to go with a particular product, is because the support they get for how many different types of file types that they can read and that they can write. And if you look at AutoCAD, they support whole bunch of file read and write options. They give it in whole different tools to do that as well. So one is you can open the files, another one is like you can import the files, and you can actually bring data through a whole bunch of other options such as XREFs and things like that. So they give you whole lot of tools to bring data into your drawing space to make to let you draw much more efficiently. So now when you're going to decide that I'm going to build a CAD product, now you're going to choose what sort of file formats that you're going to support. So most of the products that is competing with AutoCAD, they give DWG support. DWG support is actually a difficult one, because there are open alliance and some of the products, some of the companies which offer DWG support, but they are not up to date with the release of AutoCAD products, because AutoCAD products, they release almost every year. And so the Open Alliance and a lot of other companies who give you DWG support or libraries, they give you bit later than AutoCAD releases. That means your product will always be behind AutoCAD. And the other file types that you can also look for is DXF, which is a universal format for sending and receiving CAD data, but it may not have a lot of attribute information or intelligence, but it's basically CAD data, dumb CAD data that you can take it out and bring it in. And then other thing is STL files, which people use it for 3D printing, and then SVG, and that's a vector file that you can also use it. And SQLite has been used in InfraWorks and a lot of other products, and yeah, so you can use it in SQLite as well, so to get data and send out data as well. and that can be actually a better choice as well. So if you're gonna have some sort of a file to store your CAD data, you want to give a file for the user, like AutoCAD saves in DWG as a native, you can give it as an SQLite, which is by default similar to the DWG file. I would say like maybe a bit better, I would say, in terms of the things that it can actually do. But again, from a CAD perspective, DWG is really efficient for storing CAD data, but SQLite does something similar, so which comes out of the box, does a lot of cool things. And then OBJs are being used by a lot of media products as well. So that means if you give an option to read OBJ files and export OBJ files, you can pretty much enable your product to talk to products such as 3ds Max, Maya, and a lot of other products as well. And then you can look into IFCs. So if your product is going to be BIM compatible, that is building information modeling compatible, then you have to look for IFCs. Without IFC support, I don't think so you will be able to market the product as a BIM product. So yeah, looking into IFC and supporting IFC read and writes, it's going to be a crucial game changer, I would say. And then step files and IGES, and yeah, a whole bunch of other CAD files and GIS files you can support it, DEM files, and CSV files that you can use it to bring in CAD data, survey data, and a lot of other information. So yeah, a whole lot of files that's out there, and whichever you want to support it, you can do it. And some of the things which I would say personally, from my experience, a lot of people use it as anything that comes from GIS space is also a good valuable thing, because it makes your product usable in the GIS space as well. Yeah, so that's some of the things that you can look into it. And then rendering capabilities. So if you're going to look into building an AutoCAD like product which has got 3D capabilities, then you need to give a decent rendering capabilities. There are libraries which helps you do that, and it may not be as good as 3ds Max or Maya to having that sort of rendering capabilities and efficiencies, but at least you're giving something to fill in that space. That means when a small company buying your product, they don't need to buy 10 different products to do one single job. And then finally, looking at the entire product as such, what sort of duration we look at it, we will discuss that in the next chapter. And thank you so much, guys. We'll catch up again in another video, and cheers.